Hello and welcome back to Space Engineers! In today's video, I'm once again taking a look at one of your designs that you recommended me on Mod.io. And if you want to recommend me one of your designs, there'll be a link to the Mod.io page in the description below. Just send me a message on that and I'll eventually get round to it. But for today we are looking at another yellow miner. This one is called the Ares miner, which is this lovely thing that I'm currently driving. So this is a quad-drilled mining ship that features two medium cargo containers. We've got a camera on top, we've got plenty of lights to light up the darkness as you drill straight through an asteroid, as I tested out over here. So I've got the start of a hole, then if it was to hit all the way through the ground, there is the little test ship that I was just playing around with. I was planning to go all the way through the asteroid, but considering how thick this one is, I decided just to leave it there. It also comes equipped with a PAM script, so if you're not familiar with that, you can just set it up to mine a certain patch. Then once it's all full up, it can then return automatically back to wherever you wanted to go, be it your base, a mothership, and it will just dock up and unload everything you collected. It also only features ion thrusters, so you can only use this in space. And yes, there will be a link to the Skybox I'm currently using. It is a very fancy one, got a lovely blue galaxy in the background. I do absolutely adore Skyboxes like this. Anyway, for the ship, pressing F10, finding it in the spawn menu, the Ares miner is 416 small blocks, using the decorative block, Warfare 2 automatons, heavy industry and wasteland DLC packs. We've got here a nice bit of information about it, such as everything it can do, and of course all of its component costs, so you can have an actual checklist in survival mode. So simply give this a thumbs up, move around towards the very front, have a quick look around the outside, then I'll go and test it out, show you what it can collect, and I think that'll be that. So at the very front of the Ares miner, what we got is a yellow industrial cockpit to drive this thing around. Surrounding all that, we've got our drills, which have been placed correctly to allow the vehicle to go all the way through whatever you want to mine. If we were to move down just a little bit and above just a little bit, we can see some lights to light up the darkness, and a camera on top, a top-mounted camera, so you can get a good view of where you're going. If we were to move around onto the side, here we go, we've got some lovely use of our conveyor caps, just to hide up those access panels on the drills. There's some fantastic use of our hazard skin, and equally fantastic use of our letter blocks spelling out Ares. We then got our ion thrusters, which, like I said, are the only form of thrusters that appear on this ship, and due to the amount on here, it is a very slow ship, so you would need to be very careful when this thing is full up, so it would be very easy just to, well, forget to slow down in time and slam into whatever you want to dock up to. Anyway, move around towards the very back, we then got a bunch of ejectors automatically set up to eject out any stone you collect. There's more thrusters, there's your connector to dock this up. Then moving all the way up and looking down, we then see the tops of our medium cargo containers with a ladder on top. If you want to continue looking all the way down at it, there we go. Then moving all the way across over to there's our top mounted camera. You can see an antenna hidden behind some beam blocks, there's our cockpit. Then moving all the way down underneath it, now this is where it gets very sneaky with the design. We've got a sound block there, we've got a light, then got once again our little caps for our connection points. Then over to this section, we've got a bunch of barred window blocks, where if we were to get a bit closer all the way up to this, what we can see are a couple more ion thrusters to help move this thing around. But all the way up to here, there's your order detector. And if we were to come all the way past this, I think it was this block right here, because it get a little confusing because I've got to find the right place, there it is. We then got a tiny programmable block for our PAM script, and a sensor on the front to allow it to all function correctly without crashing into stuff. Looking all the way up there's our O2HU generator, there's a small reactor to give it a bit of power, and I think that's pretty much it for the outside of the Ares miner. So yes, it looks bloody fantastic with how it's all been set up, and it's also a very useful and very compact design that allows you to easily build it in survival mode and have it deploy from a nearby ship, nearby base, if you do need to go out and collect up resources. But now what I can do is just grab hold of my character, bring up the HUD, we've got two tabs to go through, where we'll start off with tab number 2. So on this we've got a simple switch for our connector at the back to lock and unlock it. But as for 1, 2 and 3, this is for our PAM scripts. I'm not going to go completely through this because it is a very complicated mod. We've got 1 and 2, so now move that little arrow on the screen up there. We've got number 3 to enter. So let's go onto this, press 3, we now go into info, and there we go, now got a little bit of information about what's going on. Of course, press it again, we then go back to our menu. Now we can go and do other stuff like set up a path for it to go and do, and then return back to base, and all of that. But anyway, ignoring that, back over to tab number 1, back in the third person view, pressing number 1, that's going to be for your drills, to left mouse to collect, right mouse to make a very big hole. Yes, the vehicle does shake around quite violently when we actually hold down the drill, not too sure why that's going on. Yeah, that's something to bear in mind. Anyway, number 2 is for your top mounted cameras so you can get a good view of where you're going, number 3 is for your lights and the front to turn them on and off. Number 4 is then for your ion thrusters at the front so we can go to a cruise and not slow down. 5 is then for your batteries to auto recharge. Number 6 is for your antenna to turn that on and off. Number 7 is then for a projector block, where if it was to hit that and turn that on, come out of this and say remove one of the steel blocks up here, what's going to happen is that it's going to project the entire ship, so you can then easily repair this up if it ever took damage and you need to do a bit of spot repairing. Put away my welder and come back into the cockpit. Over to number 8, that's your O2HU generator on and off. Then we've got number 9, once again for your connector to toggle that on and off. And with that all done and out of the way, what we're going to do is now we just very carefully drive this thing around. Then we're going to move down to the asteroid and actually test out. So as it stands, while it's completely empty, this is what we get. So as I said, it's a very slow ship, and it's going to get even slower when we fill it up with all the resources. Moving the mouse around, we've got plenty of control over this, a complete contrast to actually moving it around with the thrusters. So there is that. I won't do a complete thruster test, we'll do that once it's all nice and full up. And speaking of being full up, I need to come into here and find my small connectors. Here they are, we need to go and make sure they are turned off so they're not going to throw out any of the stone, because I could not find an asteroid with resources on it. And well, it's just going to keep throwing it out as I collect it on this one. So very carefully moving all the way up to it. As you can see, it's got a very slow stopping time. So moving all the way up to this section, not going to the place where I was just mining so I could accidentally collide into the ship I was using. And we're going to do a slight bump. There we go. Back into first person view, into the camera. We now start mining away. In fact, we'll come out of that camera. Keep moving forwards. And there we go. On the top screen, we can see our power output and input. On the other side, we then see our speed and acceleration. And of course, the middle is going to be the PAM. Now just keep going all the way through this. And eventually, we're going to be nice and full up. And we'll be able to back out of this and test it out once again. And here we go. That did not take long. We're now full up. I'm trying to reverse this thing out. I can feel the sheer difference when compared to when it was empty. So then that comes to a stop, pressing I, coming into here. And we need to find all of our containers. As you can see, we can store some in the cockpit. There's our connector that can store 3K. Then we've got our drills that can store about 8K in each of them. There's our medium containers that can store 9K. Then we've got our O2HU generator, of course with some ice inside. There's our reactor. Yes, we can store a nice bit of resources in there. Not too much compared to other mines that are showcased, but perfectly ample for a little spot miner to go and collect up stuff you need. But how does it handle once it's all full up? Well, as you can see, as I move this mouse around, it's exceptionally heavy compared to what it was. And driving around it is now even slower. I'm just holding forwards, and as you can see, the speed is slowly creeping up. But you need to be very careful when you're trying to dock up to a station, because it's going to become very easy to actually slam into it and damage stuff, and potentially lose all the resources stored in the drills. And we're letting that come to a stop, which could be quite some time. Then we move left, and move right again. We are very slow with that. Moving down, and moving up. Moving up feels a little bit faster, but it's still very slow at the end of the day. Could do a few more thrusters on there, but if you've got a ship parked nearby, then this is going to be perfectly fine for simply doing what I said, a bit of spot mining, so you then easily just come and dock up to it very slowly, and unload everything safely. But as it stands, it's a lovely little drill to use in survival mode if you do want to have something very easy to build, with a nice bit of functionality due to the PAM script. There'll be a link to the description below along with the Skybox. And to finish off this video, what we're going to do is reverse this all the way up, a very, very long distance. Then we're going to slam straight into it at hopefully maximum speed, and we'll see what kind of destruction we can cause. And here we go. Unfortunately, we're not going to actually get to 100 meters per second, but this will have to do to the sheer weight. It should do a nice big explosion, or it's going to do like it did last time, just bounce away from it. There we go. And it looks like we just lost one of the drills. That's kind of what I was expecting to happen, because it seems like when you slam into something with a drill, the drill absorbs all the impact and simply bounces away, saving the entire ship. So there we go. Anyway, that's it for this video. There'll be a link to a description below, like I said. I'll be back with another video some point soon. Bye bye.